Peace and blessings, Alpha Quabo, aka Show Radio Diamond, every single Sunday. Alpha Quabo, I'm your brother, I'm your friend, I'm your prince. Alpha Quabo, I'm so excited in the show today. So stay tuned. As always, shout out to my brothers and sisters from all over the world that have been promoting this parliament, this village, this is African nation. This is about us promoting the best of ourselves, promoting culture, love, unity, everything that deals with black/African people all over the world. That's what it is. I'm your brother Alpha Quad one more time. So we're going to be having an amazing show today. So we definitely live. I need you to tune in on this one. And please, don't tell no one. Don't tell the Chinese. Don't tell the European. This is just about us, right? Maybe one day we might go deal with them, but right now it's about us. It's about empower ourselves. It's about understanding we need to do for ourselves. It's about self-love, self-pride. It's about understanding just because we love ourselves don't mean we hate anybody. It's about us. It's about learning. It's about teach one, reach one. It's about us as the people worldwide. It's about us, the citizen of this planet. That's what it's about. So we're gonna be right back. So we're gonna play a quick video, just so you understand. But go straight to the point, because we're not playing no game. Go straight to the point. We're gonna be talking about economy. We're gonna be talking about our economy as African. As African people all over the world, we're going to be talking about economy. So let me just show you what's the show today, just so you understand. So because we got to go straight to the point, no messing about, just go straight to the point, right? So making sure I've put my visual totally fine. So this is the topic today. This is the topic today, as you can see right in your screen. We talking about economy, and then I'm asking you a question. You can send a message on WhatsApp. The question is simple. The music and the sport industry is a powerful weapon to emancipate ourselves economically, just so we can create businesses in Africa and in our community worldwide. Do you agree or disagree? Simple. The music and the sport industry is a powerful weapon to emancipate ourselves economically, just so we can create businesses in African continent and in our community worldwide. Do you agree or disagree? That is why, to break it down this, we're going to have our special guest, straight from the United States, Joseph R. Waker, one of our great minds in the United States, Alabama. Then also, to break it down, we're going to have our brother Ben Adam from Nigeria, right there in Lagos, I guess, in Lagos. That is why we're going to be breaking down this topic. But the topic's right there in your screen, as you can see. We're going to be breaking down. Break it down. That's why we need you to help. It is about us. We need you on this one. That's the simple question we're asking to our brothers and sisters. If you agree, yes. If you disagree, send us a message as well. That's what it's about, because it's about parliament here. It's about learning. Nobody knows anything. We're learning. Even myself as well. I'm learning every single week here in this amazing village, this African village. Peace and blessings. We're going to play a quick video just so you understand what we're doing. Bring me music. Okay, so we're going to be playing this video. Just watch, understanding the breakdown of, even though it's just specific in America, but applies for the African people worldwide. Watch this video by Dr. Claude Anderson, one of our great mind in terms of economy. Watch this video, and then we're going to be coming right back. It's only about probably two to 3 minutes. We're going to call it, and then we're going to go straight to the point. But I want you to watch this video just so you understand, because we're talking about black economy. That's what we're talking about. So I'll talk to you shortly. Stay tuned and watch this amazing break it down by Dr. Claude Anderson. See you soon.
The best way to control melanated people is keeping them poor and disenfranchised, and this is what has happened to black people in America. There's a reason why black people have been economically undermined, because it's very easy to control poor people. When people are poor, you can do whatever you want to them, and they won't have the economic power to fight back. They won't have the economic power to put a politician into power to help them out. They won't have the economic base to really take care of their basic needs, so then you can control them any way you want to.
When you live in a poor neighborhood, you're living in an area where you have to have poor schools. When you have poor schools, you have poor teachers. When you have poor teachers, you get a poor education. And when you get a poor education, you are destined to be a poor man and a poor woman the rest of your life. Poor education, you can only work on a poor paying job. And that poor paying job enables you to live again in a poor neighborhood. So it's a very vicious cycle.
With light, you're here. With light, you're with light,
Economics with it. Arab and Asian money bounces 12 to 13 times what it leaves. Jewish money bounces 18 times. Black folk got to learn how to practice group economics. Black Americans spend every penny they get outside their own community. Then you take the money and the wealth that you get from that first floor and go to the second floor. The second floor is politics. You then take that money on the first floor and you control your politics. Black folk must quit allowing people to tell them to go out and vote. Vote for what? Nobody's going to do anything for black folk in politics. Politics is controlled by money. Major corporations who got the money. That's what controls politics. If you have no money, you have no say-so, you have no benefits coming. So you take your money and you control, and you take your money from the first floor, you buy every politician on the second floor. And then the politician you can't buy, you rent or lease them to get what you need. Then once you get the second floor under control with your politician, with your money, then you go to the third floor. The third floor then is the police department and the court system. You take your money from the first floor and your politics on the second floor, and you control the court system and the police departments. Then the fourth floor then is media. You then take the money that you generate off the first floor from business and industries and you go after radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, and cable systems so that you can now inform and communicate with your own people. Right now, black folk own and control less than 35 thousandths of 1% of the media in the United States. Out of 12,000 radio stations, black folk own about something like about 75, 80. That's all. You own no cable systems. You don't have a daily newspaper. You have nothing of importance. You got about one black TV station. And so you can't communicate with your people. You can't inform your people. You can't do anything. You can have Rush Limbaugh and all the rest of the guys talking about racism all day long and bad-mouthing you. And O'Reilly. They can call black folk all kind of names all day long. What are you going to do? You can't respond. You can't communicate with your own people because you don't have an economic base. 51% of all the prisoners in the United States are black people. You only make up 12% of the population. That's no accident. It's because you don't control the economics and the politics. And they're going to go after the weakest people they can get their hands on to incarcerate them. That's the black folk. And what are you going to do in response to it when they over-incarcerate you? You're going to go out and have a march, a demonstration. We're going to march. March for what? Who cares? Practice group politics. If you don't practice, you're setting yourself up. I told that 5-story building, you're setting yourself to get wiped out. (1866) and up to about into the 1920s, black folk had the greatest economic achievement they've ever had in this country. Even under, it didn't occur under integration, it occurred under segregation. Those black folk had managed to acquire over 20 million acres of land, according to the United States Census in 1920. 20 million acres of land. But between 1920s and 1950s, they lost almost all of it. Back in the 1920s up to 1940s, we had black broom factories, we had black mattress factories. Almost every black major city had at least 2 cab companies. We had black bus companies. We had black shipyard up here in Baltimore. When I say black bus lines, I'm not talking about just having 3 or 4 buses. We had over 500 buses, and this is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And our bus company didn't just service just the black neighborhoods; it serviced the blacks and the white neighborhoods. We had 2 black cab companies. We had the Harris Cab Companies and the Campbell City Cab Companies. But they used to have their own restaurants. They had the best nightclubs.
Anyway, so you heard it. Dr. Claude Anderson, one of our great minds, he released the book Powernomics. You got to check Dr. Claude Anderson. We were trying to get him on the show, but unfortunately, it's not really that well. But I'm sure we're gonna get hold of him because we've been in touch with the manager that deals with all the booking. We make sure we definitely sure we're gonna get Dr. Claude Anderson here in our studio, in our platform, to be able to break it down, the economic situation around the world, because we gotta understand economy. As the brother even yesterday, last show, brother Wayne B clearly stated, we have to understand economy. If you don't understand economy, we're gonna be they're gonna be wipe us out totally. So, but in order to break it down, we're gonna have our special guests that will be making sure. Let me just get the. So we're gonna be having our guest that will be able to break it down with us, just so we really understand about economy, because it's all about us. It's all about us to break it down and understanding that we can build our own empire. We don't need nobody. We can do ourselves. Okay, we gotta. So you just stay there. So we bring in. I want the elder to switch on his line as well. His video. I want the elder to switch his on his video as well. There we go. Got it.
Yeah.
So rule number 1, I think I can hear feedback of one of you that has the device on. Great. That's absolutely great.
Okay.
That's
I was
absolutely.
watching you on Facebook.
Oh, okay. So you got the intro, right? You watched the intro.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Everything's on point.
Okay, great. So I'm making sure we got everything right. Brothers and sisters, we talking about economy, because we got to understand ourselves. And the question we're asking to our brothers and sisters all over the world, the topic of today is, the music and the sport industry is a powerful weapon to emancipate ourselves economically, just so we can create businesses in Africa and in our community around the world. So do you agree with this statement, or you don't agree? Simple. So it ain't no be-baboo. It's about economy. So we have to understand economy in order for us to build our own empire, to build our own floors. As Dr. Claude Anderson stated, it's about building the steps, just so we can understand economy in a full of sense. So, but without further ado, so I need to bring my guests. So, as I say to you, let me just get this out of the way. As I say to you, our show is about. Oh, sorry, bring my camera again. Our show is international. It's not about local. It's about global show. It's about connecting our brothers and sisters from all over the world. So that's why I need our special guest to introduce themselves. I'll start off with the elder United States. Tell us about who you are and what you've been doing for the family.
Well, I think most people know who I am already. Don't you think so?
Yes, but even though it was just to refresh our people's mind, just to refresh our people's mind.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. I appreciate you having me on the show this morning, Mr. Alpha Quavo, and all the hard work that you do. First of all, I would like to applaud you for that, for all of the great work that you do. I'm Joseph R. Waker Jr., born and raised in the United States. I'm a worldwide traveler. I own a nonprofit organization called Waker Foundation, which is a nonprofit 501c3 charity group. I also own Waker CD, which is a development corporation, which we do developments of large jobs such as hotels, hospitals, restaurants, and stuff like that. I'm also an activist. I go to wherever the need is the greatest for whatever problem we're having, such as the stuff in America with the police department in Dothan, Alabama, and Ozark. Did a lot of work in Washington, D.C. as well. So that's who I am, and that's what I do.
Wow. So the same to open up our show. It's the first time here in our studio, straight from Lagos, Nigeria. We got our special guest as well. Introduce to the family, tell us who you are and what you're doing for the family. Because, by the way, we saw your book, so you're going to have to explain your book properly. But tell us who you are and what you're doing for the family.
First and foremost, I would like to say a very big thank you for this rare privilege. I really see it as an opportunity. I see it as a privilege. And I would like to say a very big hello to our elder over there in the United States. It's my pleasure connecting with you. I'm always very glad to network with elders. I was told where you want to go far, you have to sit on the shoulders of those who have been ahead of you. And it's really a pleasure connecting with you. My name is Ben Edem. I'm Nigerian, and I am an activist, a community activist. I am also a spiritual counselor. But basically, I run an organization called Expedition Africa. And everything we do in that organization is to bring the concept of the African mentality upon our younger generation, particularly in the African society. So we go to schools, we go to African communities and educate most of those young Africans on the need to integrate their culture alongside the Western culture. And so we've realized that over the years, there's been so much of impact that the African culture have had, not just in Africa, but in the global scene. And so we decided to begin this organization of educating young Africans, particularly in sub-Saharan African, about the need to integrate African values in their systems, in their schools, and even in some of their religious centers. And so that's all what I do. My name is Ben Edem. It's a pleasure of being here this evening.
Wow. So obviously, going straight to the point, let me ask to the elder, are we understand the economy enough as brothers and sisters from all over the world? Because we, in our communities worldwide, face the fact we're not controlling our economy. We got the Jewish, they control the economy. Facts. We got some of the European brothers and sisters, Europeans, counterpart. I'm not going to say brothers and sisters, they're counterpart. So they, you understand what I'm saying, right? Counterparts.
Yeah.
So we are collaborating. So I'm black, so I got to be mindful with my words sometimes. To these brothers and sisters movement, right? So we understand that we are labor force. We work hard. Even go back to the history. We built civilizations. We came from from Africa. Our ancestors got shipped over in the United States, in Europe. We always been a labor force. The question to you, elder, this is something to do with history, or is our responsibility now to not have a full understanding of economy before we go to our topic?
Well, first of all, that's a, you said a mouthful when you said that. First of all, I would like to give all praises to God for having me here in the position that I'm in. Also, I would like to thank all the elders that came before us and gave their life for us to do what we're doing today. If there wasn't for the elders and stuff, we would not be here, because we would be a species that would no longer be in existence on the planet, this planet that we call Earth. So absolutely, we're not in control of anything. And a great example for me, and I'm going to answer this in several different parts, if you allow me to. The main thing for me is that I am a overachiever. I have so many different degrees and certifications. I have more business licenses and degrees and certifications in Washington, D.C. than anybody that ever came through Washington, D.C., even till today. I say that to say this. I started working in a shoe shop, and talking about the economy. I started working in a black shoe shop when I was 7 years old. In the first grade, I started working in an all-black shoe shop. There was two shoe shops in Alabama. There's a black shoe shop and a white shoe shop. I worked in the black shoe shop. The owner of the shoe shop was a pastor of a Baptist church, Pastor Walker. So he knew exactly what to do in order to advertise his business properly and get as many customers in his business as possible. There was also dry cleaning businesses. There was car serving businesses. There was laundromats. There was everything that we needed in our black grocery stores in our community. But our problem in America is that we think we made it after integration. Integration actually hurt us. I can tell you that for a fact, because I am the first and only black king of a predominantly white elementary school in the state of Alabama. Well, how did that happen? If there's so much racism and prejudice and stuff, that stuff is taught to us. We don't just be born like that. It's taught to us. Because in order to be a king of an elementary school, I had to be voted on by my peers. So this was a lot of white kids voting for me to become the king of this predominantly white school. And I'm a little black kid that's traveling the world because my father's in the military. So to answer your question, we as black people, and I'm going to cut it straight to the chase, and I don't care who like it and who don't like it, we as black people got to start trusting each other and stop trusting the people that does not have our best interest at hand. And that's nobody. The Jews don't have the blacks' best interest at hand. We want to talk about the Holocaust and all the stuff that happened with the Holocaust and how their people is suffering. What about us? What about our people? What about the way we're suffering? What about the way we've been suffering really for 450 years in the United States? I mean, let's just break it down. Just like when we went to the museum and when I was in Africa, they explained to us about the currents, how the currents ran and how the water ran and how it comes to South Carolina. And the ships can actually dock in South Carolina and let the slaves off the ship. We are the most brilliant-minded people on the planet. We as black people are the most brilliant-minded people on the planet. But for some reason, we don't think that we have the mindset in order to financially take care of ourselves, first of all. Secondly, the ones that call themselves activists, they need to sit their behind down somewhere and stop claiming that they're activists. You was a drug dealer, you was this, you was that, you was a gangbanger at some time. Let the ones of us that can really speak towards the purpose, speak towards this purpose. I ain't talking about somebody that just started yesterday. I'm talking about that you have a track record, a real track record. My track record goes back, and you can see it online till when I was in the 6th grade. You understand what I'm saying? So in America, when we start talking about economy, the first thing they want to do is they want to hide this black man here behind doors and stuff. They don't want to give me the opportunity. They don't want to give me the funding and stuff was necessary. Not that I'll ask you to give me anything. I work hard for what I deserve. Wow. So we as black people, we got to start working towards trusting one another, financing one another. The ones of us that has the money, we really need to go out and find people like me. It's the small people that's doing the great work that's not getting praise or getting notarized for what they do. But it's the big companies and stuff that continuously get funding and they keep continuously do the same thing. And over a period of time, people become comfortable with that. So
Wow.
absolutely not.
Wow. Going to Nigeria, same question to you, my brother. Are we fully understand economy? Because we know it's something to do with the past. Why are we not fully understanding? It's something to do with the past because we've always been a labor force, and then our ancestors they work harder, 24/7 with no pay. Facts. through the picking the cotton, picking like on the farm, on the construction, we work hard as our ancestors, and then we always been a labor force. Do you reckon this is also play a major role for us to not really understand the economy, to run business on the front door rather than be on the back door? So, what is your thoughts about the economy of us black people worldwide?
Yeah, I feel that over the years there have been a very negative perception and mentality. There have been very negative perception and mentality about black people outside the shores of Africa. And most often, I've always accredited that to a certain sense of mentality, poor mentality, I would say, if you permit me to use that word. And so it has been one of the things we identify in my organization, where we realize that many Africans are not taking the front role in economic pursuit, owing to the fact that some of them probably have not been taught about how to take the front role in the center of economy. And so I feel that most of these white folks, most of this Chinese, the rest of them, the Jews, over the years have been taught by their ancestors on how to sit on the dining table, not just as a slave, but also as a diner. And so I feel that firstly, there need to be an education, there need to be an economic education for black folks, particularly for young Africans. There need to be deliberate educational projects, educational programs centered on economy. Like, I love the word you use, emancipation. There need to be that emancipation from our minds. We need to understand that we are equal. We need to understand that there is the need for us to go out there, not just with the slave mentality, because if you will agree with me that unconsciously, some of us black people still have that slave mentality in us.
Absolutely.
So you see a white folks and you feel inferior. You may not express it physically, but your mindset, you begin to feel, wow, I need to take a photograph with this guy. Once I take a photograph with this guy, they see it as an achievement. So subconsciously, there is that slave mentality in us. And so it has been one of our burdens in trying to unravel those mysteries, in trying to trying to clean up our minds that we are equal. We need to see economy. We need to see this thing like, so there need to be an education, economic education. We have one of us here in Nigeria by the name Tony Lumelu. He's consistently for 5 years plus now, he's been consistently teaching young African entrepreneurs on the way to go about the economy. So if you ask me, I would say that first, we need to start with economic education for black folks. There need to be economic program teaching Africans and black folks all across the world about some of the keys and the antics and the mysteries and the tips and secrets on how to take charge when it comes to economy. I feel that.
Going to the United States, talking about the history, because the brother in Nigeria mentioned slavery, because for so long we've been taught that our ancestors they only been a slave, but we have to understand we came from the great kingdoms. We had the first rich man on this planet called Mansa Musa. So we gotta understand this. So do you reckon we have to really go back to the history, like back to the ancient history? Because most of our brothers and sisters, you're right, they're still running through that slave mind mentality. So do you reckon the history plays a big role we don't really know our history. We don't really know the great work that our ancestors, because we built civilizations, we built the economic structure. So tell us what is your thoughts about the history, the going back to history, going back to Sankofa.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely got our lives depend on the history of our past, which is the elders. The elders will talk to us. They will guide us. They will show us if we open our mind and we get into this spiritual realm. I'm not saying that, not to believe in God or Jesus. I believe in God. I just don't, I don't function on Jesus because we know God is a jealous God. You understand what I'm saying? So no matter what, if he's a jealous person, he's jealous of everything and everyone other than himself. So we have to depend on our knowledge of the world, of knowing who God is. The second thing is our ancestors. We really, when we went to Portugal last year, I learned a lot when we went to Portugal. I didn't know about, and this is, and it's, you can call it ignorance on my part, but it's ignorance on everybody in the United States part of not knowing who we are or where we came from. We was kidnapped. We was brought over here by force. We was forced to live this life that people wanted us to live. Like you said, chopping cotton, picking peanuts. I mean, doing all kind of major labor. There was 5 states in the United States that took care of the whole economy in the late 1700s and the 1800s. We had Tulsa, Oklahoma in the early 1900s. That was one of the greatest economies ever. The money went through there 32 times. It rotated through Tulsa, Oklahoma 32 times before that money left out of that community. And you cannot do this stuff by yourself. You cannot do this alone. You got to have people that is beyond you, that you listening to, that you paying attention to in order to get to this next level. And the level is being humble. It's being wise. Being wise just means that you have an open mind about what's going on in your life, in your economy. What we're getting ready to do, what me and you are getting ready to do in Africa is very phenomenal. It's the first time that anyone has ever tried to put something together like this, other than the brother that's doing the great work. I don't want to mention his name. I've reached out to him several times. We're going to get together sometime in the near future. But we're getting ready to put some buildings together. We're getting ready to put some lights together. We're getting ready to put some water together. We're getting ready to build some hospitals and stuff. We're getting ready to do everything that we need to do because I have put so much energy and effort in the United States for the last 50-something years in the United States. And now the Lord is telling me it's time for you to leave that place and to go to another place that is open-minded. What do I mean by open-minded? It means like-minded people. Like-minded people for me means the racism, the prejudice and stuff is not there. It means that everybody is the same complexion, the same color. We can think on the same level, and we don't have to worry about, okay, well, this brother is black and this guy over here is white. So when you come to my bank, you cannot borrow any money unless it's for a car. You can't get a loan to open a business. You can't get a loan to do anything except for you can get a loan to buy a car. You can get a loan to go to school, and you can get a loan to buy a house. Those are probably about the only 3 things that a black person in the United States can go to the bank and say they're going to get a loan for. But for the same $24,000 you want to get a loan to buy a car, you can't get a loan for $12,000 to open a business. That's the way that they keep us suppressed. That's the way they keep us suppressed. So the elders is talking to us. They're letting us know what we need to be doing, but we need to have more people like-minded in order to create these businesses and opportunities. I also like to take a moment at this time in order to introduce my website and Alpha. You can put the websites on a little bit later if you like. You can go to my website at www.waker, and my name is spelled WAKER, foundation.me. You can also go to my website at Waker CD, that's community development CD.me. You can get a lot of information from there. You can also look me up on Facebook. Alpha, he can put the information on about Facebook. You can see the work that I've done. I couldn't have did it without the Lord and the elders. Without the Lord and the elders, I would not be here. I would not be doing what I do.
Wow. So going to Nigeria, same question to you, my brother. Obviously, as you can see in our screen, if you watch this live right now, you can go to all the social networking. We're live. That's facts. We give it to you radio-wise, just so you can listen to you. You can listen to us. We also give it to you visualized. That's the beauty of doing radio in our days, making in life everything so easy. We can, before people used to look at me like, "Oh, Alpha, is that you on the radio? Oh, you look small or you look big. Oh, your voice sounds beautiful." Now people get to see the chance to see me. They're so surprised about me, like, "Oh, I didn't know it was you doing the radio. You got a very excited voice. That's what it is." Every time we step in this platform, this is our ghetto, this is our village, this is our parliament, this is our nation right here at this time at Radio Diamond. So that's why we connecting with the brothers and sisters from all over the world. And then it's a pleasure to have today one of our king in Nigeria, Brother Eden, and also one of our great elder in Alabama. So obviously the question, the show is simple. We're asking you a simple question. It's a statement or question, I don't know. The music and the sport industry is a powerful weapon to emancipate ourselves economically, just so we can create businesses in Africa and in our community around the world. Do you agree or disagree with me? So tell us what it is, brother. So, Brother Eden, going to you, bring my mic. Going to you, the same question. Let me just take this out of it. Going to you, the same question. In Africa, as we speak, we are under attack. We got the Chinese taking over there, giving billions of dollars to our governments. We got the Europeans counterpart, they never left there. So are we, or yourself, and we know Nigeria is the #1 economy in Africa. You got a major role to play. We got a lot of billionaires in Nigeria. Facts. My brothers in Nigeria, they don't play no game when it comes to money. I love you that. So tell us about the economic emancipation in the continent. As being as actually a present, do you see a lot of movement in terms of economic emancipation in Africa, in the continent?
Yes, I will say yes. They've been over the past, 8, 7, 9, 10 years. They've been a consistent form of economic emancipation for Black people, particularly in this part of the world, particularly in Nigeria. We've all known a hero, economic hero in person of Aliko Dangote. We've known one of the richest man in Africa, and we've got lots of other great guys like Adenuga. Some of them, so they've been ample economic emancipation for Black folks here in Nigeria. But I feel that we can do better. I feel that there is room for improvement. You talked about the Chinese taking over some of our industries, paid so much money. I feel it still connects to what I made mention earlier with this mentality. Let me be very frank with you. I think I need to say this. Did you know, I don't know if you've ever visited Nigeria, but I probably maybe one of these days you should take a visit at all down here. Did you know that in this country, most of the products that are manufactured in this country, particularly if it's been inscripted, made in Nigeria. Did you know that the Nigerian would deliberately ignore that product? Like a Nigerian just wouldn't use the product manufactured in Nigeria. It's as dangerous as that. And so I interviewed in part of what we do. We run some interviews to go to markets, we go to some economic places, we partner with TV stations, interview. So I interviewed one of those personnel and asked them, why do people sideline made in Nigeria product? And he said something that really shook me. He said that over the years, people have always believed that products manufactured in Nigeria by Nigerians are not good. They are not durable. They can't stand the test of time. But now this is it. By virtue of what I do, I tend to travel to some of these countries around. If you go to Cameroon, you go to Togo, you go to Benin, you go to Ghana, and some of the countries, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and far above Mali, you will realize that about 75% of their consumable products there are Nigerian-made products. Nigerian-made. But now the question is, why is that? Why is it that in our own country, those of us who are supposed to be the ambassadors of this country, the ambassadors of this product, who are supposed to be heartily welcoming this product, seem not to accept this product? So it boils down to what I said the first time. There's need for the emancipation of the mind. There need to be a paradigm shift in our minds. Because if you bring in made in China product, made in Hungary, made in India, made in Turkey, and some of those places, even when the product you can see is glaring that they are not durable, they can't stand the test of time. In Nigeria, we pay so much to acquire that product. So you can still see that slave mentality subconsciously in us. So I feel that there's more we can do in emancipating our mind economically. That's it.
Going straight to the United States, same question to you. Look, brothers and sisters, we gotta be proud. And then you touching a great point, my brother. We have to start valuing ourselves. We have to start valuing ourselves. That's why don't be afraid to embrace your own. Don't be afraid to tell the elder, I love you. I'm standing for you. Don't be afraid to show some love. Don't be afraid to buy black, spend black. Understanding. We have to emancipate ourselves. Look, this product is made in Africa. Right here. And then some of our designers in Africa, they found difficult to sell their own products because our brothers and sisters, they're so in love with these Gucci's, with this Rivington, with this man. Come on, my brothers, man. Look, that's not cool, man. Seriously, we have to shift our mind. We have to shift our mind. There's so many brothers and sisters in Africa. They're working hard, 24/7, to produce clothing, and then our brothers and sisters, they're not buying it. So we denigrate ourselves. We have to stop all this. Going to the elder, same question to you. Why are we not embracing our own? Because we see the work that y'all been doing all over the world. But sometimes the first brothers to take us down is our own brothers. Works.
Yep.
So why straight to the point, my elder. So why we're not embracing? We understand the slave mentality. But there's more deep about this behavior. It's about hating ourselves. Sometimes we really hate ourselves. Sometimes some of our brothers, I'm not saying all of us, but we really hate ourselves to the point that when we got the European products, we feel so achieved. Tell us, brother, elder, what is your thoughts about this behavior of some of our brothers and sisters?
It's not a thought for me. You know, I'm a counselor in several different regions of mind. One of the things that I deal with is conflict resolution and anger management. One of the anger problems that we have as black people worldwide, not just in America, worldwide, is that we don't want anyone that look like us to be above us. We don't want anyone to be an overachiever to overachieve us. You know, for me to have come back to Alabama for the last 3.5, 4 years and put these projects and programs together to try to create an opportunity with you. Again, I'd like to thank you, Alpha Quabo, for coming and doing the videos and stuff. with the events and stuff that we did in Alabama. I met Alpha Quabo. Just a little history for y'all. I met Alpha Quabo in Washington, D.C. in 2015 in October for the Million Man March in Washington, D.C. Alpha Quabo couldn't get into most of the events and stuff, even though he had a press pass, he couldn't get in. But by using my name, he was able to get into any place he wanted to go. So, with that said, again, I couldn't do anything that I do without the blessings of the elders and from the Almighty God Himself. So with that said, we are jealous and envious of each other for no reason whatsoever. So in other words, we would rather patronize someone else and give them the blessings instead of us. A great example is sometime when I go to the barbershop, just to go to the barbershop, you see I haven't had my hair cut in like 10 or 11 years. So the brothers at the barbershop be like, oh man, them white folks ain't gonna let you do this. Oh man, them white folks ain't gonna let you do that. It's not about what people let you do. It's what you qualified to do. It's what you quantified to do. Another problem that we have is we don't want to patronize each other. We don't want to come to the events and stuff that we have in order to show people, okay, well, there's 40,000 of us going to come to this event, like the Million Man March. Like I told you when you came to the Million Man March, I told you specifically what was going to happen before it happened, didn't I?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so when I tell you something, you can look forward to that because that's the wisdom that the Lord and the elders have instilled in me. So everything that I said to you came to fruition. So when we get together as a group of black men, as a group of black women, as a group of a black family, we should know how to patronize and we should know how to embrace each other with love, peace, harmony, and unity. I don't care what someone says to you, it's what's in your heart. And I know a lot of us in our heart, we want to embrace our sisters, we want to embrace our brothers, and we want to do these things, but in our mental capacity, it will not allow us to do that. So mentally, physically, and emotionally, we're distraught. We're distraught on so many different levels. It's pathetic. I mean, we could do a whole show on just the distraughtness of us as black people. But the bottom line for the question is that we're jealous. We have envy for our brothers for being an achiever. Whatever we have achieved, we have worked hard for that ourselves. We can't bring you to a point where you're not ready to be. We can't give you something that is not for you, because what's for you is for you, and what's for us is for us. You know, so that's us in a nutshell. In Alabama, in Washington D.C., in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in Charleston, South Carolina. I mean, I have done things globally. We have done things globally, Alpha, to show people that this is what we can be doing. The businesses that we're going to be creating in Africa, we'll talk about that later on in the show. But that's to answer your question.
Wow. Going to the brother in Nigeria. Obviously, we understand our power. And as the elder says in the United States, if we come together, it's a major blow. So our leaders in Africa, they got a major role to play on this one, because we own lands. We are original from the lands that has the most powerful mineral resources that can change the entire planet. We got to understand this. We own lands in Africa. Not because we can't just say to the Chinese, but we as African people, we own lands that can change the entire planet. We got a lot of mineral resources. Why we not backing these mineral resources to build our own economy? That's why we're going to get to the elder as well. But tell us about the land, the control of our land, because we can't do anything when we talk about being self-sustainable. You have to have a certain control of your land. So help us to break it down, my brother, because in Africa, from the north to south, we're not really sovereign in terms of economy. So why we're not controlling our own mineral resources? in order to produce economy that will build our African nation?
I feel that question it varies in different African regions. If you come down to this part of the world, to this part of Africa, Nigeria, I would say that to an extent we as Nigerians are actually in control of our resources. We are in control of some of our mineral resources, some of our lands to a great extent, if not about 90%, 95%. But here is the question. I feel the question should rather be, what are the leaders who are in control of those resources? What are they doing in order to channel those resources towards economic emancipation that will compete with the global brands? And now it brings me to this answer. You see, we all know, we don't need to be shy away. Like the elder rightly said, we know we've got our own flaws. We know we've got our own errors. We know we've got our own, every race have got lots of stuff. But I feel there's so much of it on the black side, which we're not going to talk about now. But now this is what we have been advocating in this part of the world. I've always said it, that the problem of Africa, contrary to some of the preaching and some of the teachings from some theologians and some African advocates and experts, the problem of Africa is really not the devil, in quotes. It's not demon, it's not a spirit, demon spirit, foul spirit like they claim. You see, they've got lots of churches, particularly in Nigeria. They've got lots of churches, they've got every day, they've got mosque, they've got, and every day things appears to be getting worse in spite of the numerous religious organization and the rest of them. So now you bring me to the question: is the problem of Africa is really not about most of those things we amplify. The problem of Africa is poor leadership.
Absolutely.
You see, this part of the world, I would tell you of a truth, that we've got the resources. Some years ago, I was privileged to be in DRC Congo, and that is about one of the most blessed nations in the surface of the earth. That is about one of the most prosperous, one of the most blessed nation in every ramification. Spiritually, like I'm a spiritual counselor, I go on tours and adventures. Spiritually, physically, naturally, all wow. And it is one place that's what I don't want to make it's a very controversial topic, but you see, it is one place that the resources of that nation can subdue the world powers of the world, the resources. And the truth is that that country is one country that have not experienced relative peace up to this minute we're talking. Why? So now I feel that one of the greatest challenge we are having in Africa, particularly in this part of Africa, is poor leadership. I personally have always advocated for a good leader, for good leaders, because when Africans start producing, in language, in the words of our learned Professor Patrick Lumumba of Kenya, one of the things he have said is that corruption is not an abstract thing. Corruption is not a demon. Corruption is a person. And corruption is living in Africa. Why? Because people are encouraging corruption to grow. So I feel that if we should have good leaders who would stand up to their responsibilities and say, we want to use the resources. Nigeria have got lots of oil, lots of other resources, and companies said, we want to use this thing and compete and build infrastructures, produce good schools, hospitals, and the rest of them. I would say that to an extent, Africa will be emancipated economically in the rest of them. So bad leaders, I would say.
Wow. So go to the elder.
I agree with that.
But before we go to the elder, we're going to be playing a minute video just so you understand what the elder is doing in Africa. So watch this video. So stay there, brothers. Just keep silence, because the line that we're going to be playing this video is going to be in the same line that you are. So if you speak, the sound is going to come right on the video. So just listen to this, watch this video, just so you understand what the elder is doing in Africa. It's a quick video. It's not going to take that much long of your time. It's a quick video, just so you clearly understand that we're not playing no game. We're getting the work done. And that's why we're asking you kindly to support this movement, of love, of unity. So just watch this video. Just watch this video, and then we're going to come in right back at you. Watch this video really quick. It's only a couple of minutes. Just watch this video. I'll talk to you shortly.
So they're producing stuff like this. That's what they do.
For investors. And the province called Bengo. So we just came here to see this massive of land. It's our family land, my ancestors, my family land. So we're trying to find a way to partner with Waker Foundation in order to explore what this land has to offer. Because through this land you can get a lot of stuff here, from fruits, bananas, tomatoes, beans. There's a lot of natural fruits that come out of this land, and possibly, if we really dig deep, we can maybe trying to find a way of trying to see if there's a mineral resources in this land. This land is one of the most expensive land in this area because it's close to the river. So that's why now we're trying to seek and looking for investors to come in up here and help us to develop this land. So that's why we brought Waker Foundation along with Waker CD in order to help us to do something in this land, because there's a lot of people in Africa that has massive acres of land, but they don't have the means, they don't have the finance to really sustain the land. So that's why we brought Waker Foundation here to just confirm this land is totally legal. So we had to go to the government, even though the land is our ancestors' land, our family land, but we also had to get the permission, the document approval from the government to just make sure the land is ours and we can really do anything that we can wish to do on the land. So alongside me, we brought Waker Foundation. I'm the CEO of Waker Foundation, straight from the United States. Tell us, what is your thought about seeing this massive and acres of land? What your vision? What your vision about it?
Well, I mean, it's vast. It's a vast amount of land here. I mean, the trees is so old and huge. I mean, you got corn, you got beans, you got everything that you need in order to have all organic store, no matter where you are in the world. I mean, it's just, right now it's just breathtaking to me to be out here on this land, to see how well developed it is with the water resources that you have here. I mean, the world is your oyster when it comes to this. Drilling and getting water from here shouldn't take much to get water from here. I understand that you might want to put some kind of development here.
Yes.
And a development will be great here in Bengo, in Africa, because this is really huge. It's like 5 miles from the street to the water here, and then it's about the same amount of width. So I mean, just putting something here is just going to be phenomenal. We plan to bring some heavy equipment in and do some farming, bring some farm equipment from the United States over to Bengo. We looked at some other stuff today, but the property here is tremendous.
Absolutely. Wow, you see that? Bring it my camera. You see that, my brother? So I'll bring him live now. So let me bring the guests live, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're bringing the guests live. So the question to you, Elder, our brothers, some of our brothers and sisters around the world, we got money. So, as the brother says, it's a poor leadership in Africa. But we all, as a citizen of this planet, especially the African people, black people in diaspora, we also have to take responsibility. Do you, my question to you, our brothers and sisters with the money, because we got some, entertainers, politicians, sports, they got the money. Are they conscious enough to understand economic emancipation in order to control the land? Because once you control your land, you control your economy, you control your future. Because we here in the United States, in the UK, even though we built this nation, but we are guests here. I don't care. You were born in the United States. You were born in England. As long as you black African, you a guest here. Because they're gonna look at you like, oh, you a guest. So the question to you: are we, our brothers and sisters with the money, they're conscious enough to go back and invest, build our economy in Africa, help our brothers and sisters? Tell us, Elder.
You know, when I look at people and people look at me, well, I used to be clean shaven. I used to have a nice haircut, and I used to not have a beard and stuff. So people used to look at me like, okay, well, he's a typical American, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I got into the spiritual thing about 30 years ago. I really got into it about 30 years ago. I was working on my mind and my conscience, and I finally got around to, I was married, and I finally got around to saying, you know what, this is enough about being married and stuff. This is about me. My consciousness was bothering me. So I came to the spiritual realm of who I am and what I'm doing. Okay, so now to answer your question about the movie stars and the actors and the football players, a lot of these people that play these sports and stuff like that, they're only educated to a certain level. And I will challenge almost anybody to be able to prove me differently. They have advisors. They have financial advisors. The football players and stuff that I know personally, the basketball players that I know personally. You know, a lot of these young men and women and stuff, when they're into the sports and stuff, they're into a zone. They're working on financial stability for themselves and their family. It's hard for them to let go of finances because it's hard for them to understand the complexity of someone like myself that has a greater knowledge of the world and a high education level. When I look at these football players and basketball players and musicians and stuff, they want to talk about where they've been and how long they was there and stuff like that. But it's not about that. It's about getting the true understanding of where you are and how you got there. And what can you do in order to help someone else move beyond that point? So, to answer your question, first of all, the athlete has to understand that there's a greater need than what he sees before him. Okay? So, a lot of them, they have a problem, again, with the mentality that says, okay, well, this brother Waker is an elder. He has done something phenomenal in his life to be able to get to the point that he is now. So what can I do in order to help him, to help others, to help themselves? So just like you said at the beginning of the show, each one reach one, each one teach one. That's been my slogan for the last 40 years. Each one reach one, each one teach one. The more we know about ourselves, the more we know about our country, the more we know about our continent, the more we know about our planet, the more spiritual we become. And the more wise we become, and then the more open we become. So when I look at people at the barbershop and standing on the corner, and they talking politics by being on the corner and being in the barbershop and stuff, it's the same old politics because they never been anywhere. They never had a chance to experience life. So therefore, they're ignorant within themselves. But they don't realize how ignorant they really are because they have not had a chance to experience life. Let me say this. You got Oprah Winfrey, you got Jay-Z, you got Beyonce, you got all of these people that have a lot of money. But they don't have a lot of knowledge of the real world. Once we get to a point in life, a lot of us, when we get to a point in life, we become oblivious to what's really meaningful in life. Okay? So the things that we should appreciate in life, we don't, because we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the expertise. So therefore, we're jealous of someone like myself that can come to you and that can explain to you what's going on. It's not because I'm bragging on myself. It's just because I'm here to teach you. Wow. I want you to know about this life experience that we dealing with. So I appreciate you playing that video. We going to Africa. We're in Africa. We putting together our hair product in Africa. We doing our building in Africa. We creating our own fashion in Africa. We doing everything that we want to do in Africa. Believe it or not, the things that I used to do in the United States that they don't want me to do here anymore because the finances is not there. The mentality that we should have as black people is not here anymore. But the same mentality and stuff that I used to see in the United States, I see it right now every day in Africa. And I do appreciate the people in Africa being open-minded about different situations. So that means that if I see you all doing what we used to do in the 60s and the 70s here, that means once I get there, and this is not about bragging and stuff like that. This is about me leaving a legacy behind for us and a roadmap and a footprint for us to be able to create our own economy wherever is necessary on this planet in order for our people to survive.
Wow. Going to Nigeria, my brother, we got great entertainers. Nigeria music is taking over. African music. But we got the Davidos, we got Burna Boys, we got great entertainers. Now they're stepping up to become millionaires. Facts. But the question is, have they been using their power, their resources to say, you know what? Even though I'm making a lot of money by entertaining people, brothers and sisters buy my CDs, they click on my views to get more views, but what am I giving back to the system of education in Africa? What am I giving back to the poor villages in Africa? Like Brother Aiken is doing. So my question to you, my brother, by you being in Lagos, Nigeria, one of the greatest countries in Africa, as our entertainers there are doing something for the people?
I feel the question is self-explanatory. It's really glaring. Like you made mention of our brother Akon. There are actually a couple of them who are doing, to an extent, very well in terms of charity. There's some of them who are doing well. I've got this guy, what's his name? Two-Face. Two-Face has got the foundation where he supports children, and also for the footballer, I've got a very popular Nigerian footballer by name Kanu Anko. He's got a heart foundation because he's got heart issues. So he founded a foundation for people who are having issues with the heart. Some of them are doing amazingly, but I feel they can do more for the position and the influence and the affluence and the power and somehow the wealth they are controlling. I feel they can do more. And also, I think I would have to chip in this. Through my organization, we came up with a magazine called Voice of the Cross magazine. Now, that magazine is centered on African Christian leaders who are contributing to the development of Africa and the African society. Because we realize that most of those guys are really taking so much from the people and not doing anything. And so we go there and hold them on their legs and says, what are you doing for this community? Because in every organization, there's what they call the give back, the welfare department, what they call corporate social responsibility. Now, we ask them, what are the corporate social responsibility of your organization, of your ministry, of your church, of your whatever you're doing? What have you been doing? And to those who have not been doing, we publish it. These guys have been big a hell of money and they are not giving back to the society. But now this is the elder made the statement which I totally agree with. I think until we come to the place where we realize that we are not really living until we start leaving legacies. We are not living until we start leaving legacies. You see, the reason why we can still talk about Nelson Mandela, talk about great men like Nnamdi Azikiwe, and most of the great guys in Africa, is the fact that these guys were not just living, they were leaving legacies.
Absolutely.
So when they left, their legacies is what people are finding about them. So I feel that until black folks, politicians, musicians, entertainers, and footballers come to the place of knowledge by understanding that soon you're going to depart from this world, and the only thing people will remember you from is the legacy you leave behind.
Absolutely.
And legacy is impact. So the question I always ask them whenever I have a conversation with them is, what impact, what will people remember you for after you've gone? So I feel like I rightly said from the onset, there is so much need of education. You see, education is not the fact that you've gone to school and you've got a college degree, you've got a university degree. Lots of professors are still illiterate to the facts of life. Just between the elder of this nation, we need to be educated. Both of those guys need to come to terms about the reality of life. That it's not just about acquiring wealth. It's not just about accumulating resources. It's the fact that what legacy, what will your children be proud of? And everything I do, not because I've got lots of money, but I do it so that in future, my children can be glad and be proud that they had a father and their father left legacy by virtue of some of the things he's been doing. So I feel legacy, they need to be taught about the power of legacy. That's my opinion.
Wow.
Yes.
As you can see, going to the elder, man, that's what we have to understand is the power of us coming together in love to teach one another. And it's such an amazing to do this show and to know that we are connecting worldwide and we're bringing a message to the family that we don't know anything, but we're willing to come together to challenge ourselves. So going to the elder, he made a great point, because we understand that religion plays a major role in our society. So the spiritual leaders, pastors, bishops, they got a major role to play in our communities. It ain't just about going out there, standing in the pulpit, preaching the beautiful word of God. We understand that. But what about the social responsibility? And then I'm not only talking about the United States, even in Africa. So, in your opinion, as the elders, as the pastors, they gotta do more in terms of economy. Because I remember when we was in Alabama, we went to you took me to all these churches, like old churches, and then you took me to the history. You made me understand church used to be a place that people can come together, emancipated, helping the family, the poor, give them food, give them this, like emancipate them physically, economically, everything. Do you reckon the church in nowadays, we're not attacking religion. Make that, don't mistake what we're trying to say. We're not attacking religion. We're not attacking the Bible. We're not attacking the Jesus. We're attacking the church, the persons. So tell us, and we're not attacking, we're just asking the question. So tell us the role of the leaders, the spiritual leaders, the pastors in our society.
Okay, you want me to tell you about the pastors, or you want me to tell you the whole history? Because if you want me to tell you the history, we're going to be here for about a month and a half.
No, we just want to tell you the pastors. Just go briefly about the pastors and the social responsibility, as the brother in Nigeria stated.
Okay, I appreciate the brother in Nigeria. I really do. I appreciate your history and the work that you're doing over there where you at as well. I really appreciate you being on this program with me. I take it as a privilege and an honor today. To answer your question, Alpha, the pastors, the bishops, the reverends, they're not doing anything compared to what they should be doing. They're not doing anything compared to what they used to do. The things that they used to do, they don't do anymore. They want to preach the Bible, and they want to preach from a couple of segments in the Bible. We understand that the Bible has been written and rewritten so many times before in the past that we really don't know what's real in the Bible and what's fake in the Bible. But to answer your question about the pastors and the preachers and stuff, the churches that makes a lot of money, they reserve a lot of money. That means they keep money for themselves and they don't want to give money to anybody but themselves. So if we don't have leaders like the pastors and the bishops and the reverends that's doing things for the community, we're lost people. We're lost within ourselves because we don't really have leaders per se like we used to. We used to, all our teachers used to be leaders. Not only the pastors and the preachers used to be leaders, but even the council people, they used to be leaders. Now it's about, I want to vote, I want money for this, I want money for that. Just like the brother said right there from Nigeria, we got to hold these people accountable. We got to find out who has a position that has funding available because we can't get out and we can't do the research and the history that we do without someone that has the funding, that has the money. Because if we had time for doing, you know what? Let me back up. I started this nonprofit, the Waker Foundation, because of there was no one that was doing what was necessary for the black community that we needed to have done worldwide. That's the reason I started this Waker Foundation.
I'm going just to cut you out there. Talk back to us. No, just go. We feel your energy. Talk back to the family. I know you do. Talk back. We're loving your message. So people are loving sending the message here. People are loving the show. People, like, that's what it's about. Send us this energy. Go ahead. Go ahead, Elder. Go ahead.
Because, you know, we got people that do stuff with the Red Cross. We got people that do stuff with the Marching Down. We got people that do stuff with the Goodwill. I'm not saying that these are not good organizations. I'm just saying that they're not great organizations. Great organizations cover everything. Great organizations cover everything from and I call this from me, and people don't understand this when it comes from a black man, one with an education level, one with street smarts, one with, I mean, if you name it, I can do it. When I look at when the kids are sick, I provided a place for them to stay. I provided a place for the family to stay. When there was homeless people, I provided a house for the homeless people. When it came to education, I was in the schools with education. I cannot do that and work a job at the same time or to create businesses. I could not do that without building the reputation that I have now. I have a reputation that's bar none. I challenge anybody, absolutely anyone, to have done as much as I've done with as little resources that I've had. I challenge anybody. I don't give a damn who you are, where the fuck you came from. I'm going to break it down to the last drop right now. You understand? So this is not about games. This is not about playing. This is not about the bullshit. This is about the truth and the religion and the elders and stuff that I'm incorporating right now. This is about love and community. This is not about you, yourself, and you. Fuck you. This is about us globally.
Wow. So the elder's so excited. So we got a brother in Nigeria right there. So we got 5 minutes to go. Like it's just going hard right here, brother. So that's what you understand. So you have to support this media. You have to support this movement because we're doing this with ourselves, with our family. We understand some of our brothers and sisters. They want to look good. They want to be too European. They want to be too Chinese. But we're too black, and we're not apologetic about it. We understand it. We just love ourselves. We're not hating anybody. So that's why we have to, when we talk black, we really let our elder express themselves, and we understand that this is our platform. So going to Nigeria, we got about 5 minutes to go. So this show just moved really fast. Man, I think we need a. You agree with me, right? We need a replay. We need a second part. We need a second round. Like that's not enough because I know even just the brother in Nigeria, we need to talk about his own book. The brother in the United States, we need to break it down, the long documentary that we did. So I suggest you to go to YouTube, to his own page, to Mwangola TV, YouTube account to just research Joseph R. Waker, you will see the documentary in Africa. Like 7 days. Like he only worked there for 7 days straight, no stop. Wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, sleeping at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Putting in the work. Like seriously, it was amazing. It was amazing. So and then he's not only doing Angola, he's doing it in different countries in Africa right now. And that's why we need to send this message to all of our entertainers with the money, all of our leaders. It is about time to emancipate ourselves economically, using all of our resources, music, dance, everything that we got to emancipate ourselves, to leave a legacy to our future generation. So, brother in Nigeria, it was amazing, man. It was amazing. It is amazing still. So, tell us about first of all, the statement. Do you agree with the statement that we've put out there? As you can see, the statement right there. The music and the sport industry is a powerful weapon to emancipate ourselves economically, so we can create businesses in Africa and in our community. Do you agree with this statement? And in a very short notice, tell us why you agree or disagree with this statement. To you, my brother in Nigeria. So I think his line went down. Hopefully he's going to come back again. Are you there, brother? Are you there?
Yeah, I hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your line, your connection just went down. Can you hear us clear? Can you hear us, my brother in Nigeria? So we're losing connection with our brother in Nigeria. So go straight to our elder. Do you agree with the statement? The music and the sport industry is a powerful weapon to emancipate ourselves economically, just so we can create businesses in Africa, in our community worldwide. Do you agree or disagree? And in a very short notice, tell us why you agree and why you disagree.
I agree to a certain extent. We are in a position that we can do stuff for ourselves financially in our own industry. But the problem with that is that they will only allow one or two of us to make it at a time. So when we make it one or two at a time, it's not sufficient enough for us to be everywhere. And I'm on everybody's case because I'm really frustrated with the whole situation of being the one that's out front doing all the work, not getting the funding. If I had the funding and stuff that I need, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, because we would have job training centers all over the world right now. We would have job training centers. We would be doing things in universities. We'd be doing things even in the countryside. We would be helping people to create businesses and being held responsible for those businesses. Let me just go back to one quick thing. With the Million Man March in Washington, D.C. in 2015, if there would have been a networking component, just a networking component with that, can you realize how interesting, how much more advanced we would be at this time if we would have just had a networking component? A networking component for me would have been just a place that these brothers could have gave their business card and told us a quick story about the business that they own and be responsible brothers and stuff. That's why a lot of those people showed up at the Million Man March, because they needed unity. They wanted to find out who would do what, where, when, and how we can connect on all these different levels. But when we don't have that networking component, it puts us behind the 8 ball. That's the main reason we're behind the 8 ball, because we don't know who's real, we don't know who's fake, we don't know who we can trust, and we don't know. And then when we find out, a lot of time when we find out these things, it's the white man can do a better job, but it's the Chinese can do a better job, it's the Mexicans that can do a better job. We're all creative human beings, but Black people have more melanin in their skin than absolutely anybody. So we have created the world. We have created the world's economy. We have created the book. We have created the bathroom. We created the running water. We created the houses. We created the buildings. We created absolutely everything. Black folks has created. And then the thing about it is a little known Black history fact that we don't know anything about Black folks.
Wow. So, obviously, we're trying to get hold of our brother in Nigeria, but for some reason we lost the connection. But we're definitely gonna have him because he's gonna have to break it down about his book because he got a powerful book that you all need to really get hold of it. He's got a powerful book, so you got to do research of him because he actually I've left his contact, but the book is right in my left side called Spiritual Secrets. So you have to get hold of the book of our brother because he's a very powerful brother in Nigeria. He has been doing a lot of work, so that's why we say we need to get him here to be able to break it down with the family. But obviously we lost his connection. We're going to try to get hold of him in next shows. We're going to try to get hold of him just so we can really break it down about spirituality as well. So, Elder, so you got about 1.5 minutes to send a message to the family worldwide about this great topic, about economy. 1 minute.
Okay, I would like to thank you for having me on your show again today, Alpha Quabo. It's not the first time I was on your show. Breaking down about the economy, we all must start working together, hand and foot, in order to create a great atmosphere for all us to be able to live in financially freedom. If you have funding that's available for some serious organization that's really doing the work worldwide, that don't care about where you at or what you're going through, or not what you're going through, but what we're going through as a community as a whole, I would appreciate it if you would make a donation to WakerFoundation.me, www.waker, WAKER Foundation.me. Now, I'm not here to beg you about anything. I have my own classification of qualifications and certifications and stuff. So we just want you, and we want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in today.
Wow. Obviously, now we got our brother in Nigeria back again. Brother, I want you to send a message because we come to the end of our show. So I want you to send a message to all the brothers and sisters from all over the world about this amazing show that we just had, that we have still. What is your message? I mean, just briefly, we're definitely going to have you again to break it down about your book. But a message. First of all, do you agree before you left? Do you agree with the statement? Can we obviously emancipate ourselves without major weapon, which is sport and entertainment? Can we really use to emancipate ourselves? Because that's the questions about emancipate ourselves economically using our music, our sports. Do you agree or disagree?
From our conversation, of course, you should know that I totally agree. I'm an advocate for that. I truly agree. I totally agree with that. Very well.
Wow. Okay. So our last message. Tell us how can our brothers and sisters get in touch with you as well? Extremely important for you to leave all your contact details. Tell us about how can the family get hold of your book or of all your contact details?
Basically, but the contact details for the book is actually on my Facebook page. I've got some platforms where I connect with and I talk about the book. And the book is basically a manual for spirituality, because I realized that in this part of the world, lots of people have been abused and cajoled through the medium of religion. Religion have eaten so deep into our consciousness that people have become used as slaves, mental slaves, sexual slaves, physical slaves, and the rest of them. And most of the things that I've realized over the years is that some of the things that have preferred this, or some of the things that have assisted this is the fact that people tend to come to most of these religious leaders for religious problems, solutions, and the rest. And so I decided in that book, I try to make people understand that if you're looking for God, everything you are looking for in that pastor, in that clergy, in that man of God, whatever, God has given that to you. All you need to do is to identify which part you fall in. For you looking for someone to tell you spiritual vision, spiritual revelation, but it could be you can even see better than that person. You can be, probably you've got the gift of open vision. You've got the gift of what they call express trance. And so in that book, I try to assist people about the tips, the secret, the practical secret on how to apply that you can come to the place. For instance, people pray and using the moon. What are the spiritual significance of the moon? If you're looking for a job, instead of you going to a place where people will cajole you, someone will enslave you in the disguise of praying for you. You can't do this by yourself. All you need to do, I think everything is all about information. All we need is the information at our disposal. So on my Facebook page, you can get the information about the book. Once you connect with me, I'll tell you how you get the book depending on what region of the world you are. And so that's everything we've been doing. And like probably I should tip this in some of the things we've been doing in the social corporate responsibility. You can get more about us on www.expeditionafrican.org, www.expeditionafrican.org. You find out more about some of the works we've been doing in African communities, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa. It's my pleasure have been on the show. We should come together. We should synergize. We should come together in unity. This is the only way we would be able to successfully pull the weights and bring ourselves to total emancipation. Thank you.
Wow. So obviously, it was just went fast. I got to be honest with you. We're definitely going to have again this true brilliant mind that came here to give it to you live, right here in our village, right here in our parliament. That's why we gotta support medias like this. We gotta send a shout out to all the management of this station, because now we give it to you, we not only give it to you audio, but we give it to you visual as well, so you can get to see what we're doing. You can get to see the amazing work of our great brilliant minds all over the world. So I want to thank our elder in the United States, Joseph R. Waker. So you definitely got to get in touch with him, because he got a wisdom, he got a power, he got a knowledge, he got so many things in plate to give it to you on the black version. Not on the European version or Chinese version, but black version. And that's what we need. And obviously, shout out to our brother in Nigeria as well, Ben Adam, for the amazing wisdom, for the knowledge. So we're definitely going to have you again, and then break it down about economy, because ultimately it is about building our own economy. Ultimately, it's about using our money to building stages in our society, controlling our politics system, because that's what the Chinese are doing. They control our political system. So we got to control our political system. We got to control our media. We got to control our court system, our police department. We have to build everything. We have to build our own military to defend ourselves. Everything you have to do, but remember, we cannot do this, my brothers, if we ain't got no money.
Yep. And we can't do it alone.
We can't do it alone, but we can't do this if you don't have no money whatsoever. Because if you don't have no money whatsoever, you're not going to play. And
let me say this real quick, Alpha.
Yeah, but so we got about a minute.
Okay, we got the knowledge. We just need people with the money to put the whole plan together. If we had the money to go along with the knowledge, we'll have a total package. Let's put a total package together, family. Please, let's put a total package together. Let's leave a legacy behind. Let us all leave a legacy behind. Let's put the total package together. We got the knowledge. We have went to school. We have got the knowledge. We have did the street banging and ganging and all of that stuff. We just need for someone like yourself that can trust us enough so we can just prove to you who we are, so we can stop relying on other folks and rely on our own self. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Remember, it's about building our own economy, building our own empire, building our own village. It's about returning back to our great ancestors. Because remember, you can't just read our history based on the slave. That's why they made us understanding that all of our ancestors, they're only slaves. We came from the continent of great kings and queens. And in our blood run bloods of kings and queens, and let's use to emancipate ourselves. Peace and black power. Kings. Alpha Quabo. See you next week, same time from 1:30. Not 1 o'clock anymore. 1:30, because we need at least 30 minutes to plan our show properly. You know, because now we're working with the visual. It's not like radio. We can just jump in before and then just drag it. But now it's about TV. We got to be mindful about our image. We got to make our brothers and sisters visualize, because sometimes our brothers and sisters, they won't believe until they visualize it. So that's why we're making you visualize and then hear at the same time. Peace and blessings. See you next week at Radio Diamond, same time, aka show. And please support this great station. Donate wherever you can, because it's about understanding we're connecting globally, not locally but globally. Alpha Quabo, I'm your prince, I'm your rebel, I'm your soldier, I'm your brother, I'm everything about black. We out.